Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, Mevlut, for welcoming us all and for preparing this wonderful conference. I would like also on behalf of the steering committee of the conference to welcome all of you, especially those who were not present yesterday, and I will try to slightly update you about what we have discussed yesterday, what we have witnessed. First, a few words about the purpose of the conference. This is not a traditional academic conference. It is what we tend to call a stakeholder conference, with different types of stakeholders exchanging views, crossing their knowledge, and innovating practice across the education sector in Europe. There are policymakers amongst us, quite some civil servants, but also proper policymakers from international and national authorities, the European Commission, the European Parliament, the OECD, and also national policymakers. We have scientists, of course, researchers who brought with them some summaries of recent research and who also want to know what questions arise from the discussions here that they can take back home for their future research. We have a lot of practitioners amongst us who work on a daily basis with people in the education sector, share their experience, sometimes their frustrations, also their claims, but certainly their ambitions and their efforts with us. And there is, last but not least, the civil society, associations of parents, cultural associations, associations representing ethnic minorities and other groups in society. And I think this exchange is one of the most fruitful recipes for a good, fruitful conference. Let me briefly remind you of what we did yesterday. We had an introductory session with a presentation first from the European Commission, where Mr. Pierre Mérès summarized for us how important the education sector has become in the Europe 2020 strategy. Contrary to the previous Lisbon strategy between the year 2000 and 2010, the education sector now has become one of the key pillars of the Europe 2020 strategy, because it's supposed to be a smart strategy, building on knowledge. Knowledge, education are, say, the most important resources that we have in Europe, as our other natural resources seem to be nearly exhausted, and we are heavily dependent on other parts of the world for our natural resources. So brains are essential for our economic welfare. And the European Commission is very committed also to investing more than beforehand through intervention of the structural funds, through the open methods of coordination and so on, through the growth and employment strategy. And this will be monitored very closely in the future. We also had contributions from international research, both European and OECD research, giving us a state of the art of what we know about the position of ethnic minorities in different countries in Europe. And this gave us a quite interesting panorama of the institutional context, a context which is very diverse and which helps us in situating the Flemish education system in particular, but also other education systems in Europe in a wider perspective and letting us experience what can be done to improve the perspective of equality of opportunities also for ethnic minorities in our education systems. We also did site visits yesterday afternoon, and those site visits were intended to show us the initiatives of the civil society. And this will be also a basis for the discussions of today. We visited a wonderful school constructed with contribution from the Turkish entrepreneurs in Europe, in Brussels. And we all, I think, were impressed by the beauty and the stimulating environment, the nice equipment also of that school. And it gave us a very lively picture because the children were amongst us, were busy learning, and the teachers were with them. So we had the opportunity to have a very lively view of what is happening in this École des Étoiles. We also visited Foyer, which is a very renowned integration center, and which has, among vast array of activities, several projects concerned with education. One of those project was concerned with language awareness, a quite innovative approach, which is helpful both for pupils with an immigrant background and for native pupils to make them more sensitive for diversity in languages and to give them a taste for diversity. I will not elaborate too much on the contents. I will not forget the exhibition that we saw yesterday evening and the wonderful dinner that some of us shared at Fedactio, also an opportunity to socialize and to reflect on the first day. But now it's time to go ahead and to move on with the next topics of our conference. There will be two remaining topics. One is the role of education in particular in fostering the development of all talents of young people, whatever their background is. How can we make our education systems more sensitive to diversity and take away the barriers that prevent some groups of developing their talents. This will be the main topic for this morning, and this afternoon we will then concentrate on the contribution of civil society, grassroots initiatives in particular, mainly civil society initiatives from the ethnic minorities present here in Europe. We will start now with a review of a video that we have visioned yesterday at the start, but many of us didn't have the opportunity to see it yesterday, so we can repeat it now. It will be also a refreshment for the participants of yesterday because the equipment here appears to be better than that in the European Parliament. So it will be of better quality. Unfortunately, the Minister of Education, who is also hosting this day, we are received today in this wonderful place by the the Flemish Minister of Education. He unfortunately was unable to attend this conference personally because of other commitments, but there is a solution for this with the modern media, and Fedactio had a good idea of interviewing him and projecting another small video fragment with his message for this conference. Let's now look at this video presentation, and then I'll come back to introduce the rest of the session. Thank you.